Hey there, welcome back to Mimali. Today we will talk about these Maranta plants. This is Maranta rabbit tracks. And Maranta is a prayer plant. The leaves fold and raise up at night as if in prayer, which makes it an interesting plant. It becomes a popular houseplant because of its patterned and colorful leaves. It has green foliage with brown splotches that looks like a rabbit's track. Maranta are plants native to the tropical forest in Central and South America. They sprawl along forest floor, thriving in warm, moist, and humid conditions. They have a sprawling nature, which means that these plants will grow wide rather than tall. The rabbit tracks Maranta is very easy to propagate. You can propagate it by stem cuttings or plant division. To propagate this plant by stem cuttings, select a longer stem. You will find a node in the stem where a leaf is attached. The node is capable of producing roots, so you cut just below the node, and you can directly plant it in soil. You may also root the stem in water, and within a couple of weeks, the roots will appear. Then you can plant it in soil. And for me, I choose to propagate by plant division because I found this as the easiest and most effective way. And the plant will readily grow as new plant because you simply just divide the plant, and after that you will plant it and it will continue to grow because it has already roots. Now look at this. This is a full-grown Maranta, and as you can see, it grows in clumps. And this makes it very easy to separate the plant or groups of plants. And you can take one piece or as many as you want. And you can dig the whole clump and divide it into smaller portions. When your Maranta is in a pot, remove it from the pot and divide the plants along with the roots. And the divided plants can then simply be potted as new plants. Then remove the dried or extra leaves if there are many. Be careful in removing the extra leaves because the stem is tender and will easily break. You see this? The leaves, the stem, and the roots are in good condition and intact. This is the best propagation method and the fastest way compared to stem cuttings, because the new plant just continue to grow and will not struggle to survive while you are waiting for the roots to grow in the stem. Now you can plant the divided Maranta in your prepared potting medium. When you plant it in a pot, select the pot with many drainage holes that will easily drain the excess water, because the roots of this plant doesn't like to be always wet. When it comes to soil, this plant generally grows in many types of soil as long as it is a well-draining soil. But it grows well in humus, fertile with good aeration, and with high organic growing medium. A soil that easily drains, but it needs to be able to hold water to stay just slightly moist. The roots will easily rot in soil that holds so much water and is always wet. You may add into your garden soil coarse sand and grits or some charcoal and organic matter like compost to make your soil well draining, loose, and fertile. For me, I am using loam soil and I mix with some compost from my composted garden wastes, mix with some rice hulls, then plant them in a pot with many drainage holes to allow good draining of water to avoid waterlogging in your soil. In filling the soil into your pot, do not make it too compact. This will allow the water to drain easily. Fill the pot with soil and insert your new plant. Then fill it up and firm the soil just lightly around the plant to hold it in place. Do not make the soil too much compact to provide good aeration to the roots, which is necessary for the roots to grow healthy and fast. After planting, water the new plants thoroughly. When your soil is not too compact, the excess water will easily drain, and it will not make your soil always wet and soggy. Make sure to keep your soil consistently moist. Your new plant will grow fast with just a little moist, not overly wet, and not very dry. This plant is very susceptible to drought, and it will not survive long if left unwatered. And this plant is also susceptible to root rot and fungal problems when they are overwatered. So you really need a well-draining soil and avoid waterlogging the soil and letting the water sit on the leaves. Water it regularly to ensure that the soil doesn't dry out completely. Keep the soil evenly moist and water it once the top of the soil is starting to dry out. When it comes to sunlight, Maranta prefers bright light but indirect sunlight. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight, which can burn the leaves. Too much sunlight will also result in washout leaves and prompt tips. Maranta grows well in areas with partial shade, but it doesn't like full shade and dark areas. When they don't receive enough light, the leaves become dull and become leggy as they stretch towards the source of the light. So position your Maranta in a place where there is bright and direct sunlight. For a healthy plant, fertilize your plant every month with water-soluble houseplant fertilizer diluted to half strength. When you use too little fertilizer, the plant will grow very slowly or hardly at all. However, too much fertilizer will burn the plant. You may also use organic matter like compost to feed your plant. There is no serious problem on Maranta when it comes to pests. The occasional spider mites and mealybugs can be controlled using pesticide. The root rot may occur when your soil is not draining well. And for me, to keep my soil not to retain so much water, I raise the soil using old tires. And this way, there is no water logging on the roots of my plant, even I water it frequently. When your Maranta is happy, it will produce a pretty, delicate flowers with long flower stem and tiny flowers at the top. It only needs bright and direct sunlight and regular feeding to help encourage flowering. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.